Hello, and welcome to the BullCast podcast. I'm Court Winsett, and with me is Cameron Spann.
Good morning.
And Nicole Ellis.
Morning, y'all.
Today we are doing an episode without our fearless leader, Katie Pickler, who could not be with us today. So obviously the topic that we are going to cover is the one that the most people in the room are qualified to cover, which would be branding, because we have the branding master, MC Spann himself, and of course his fearless assistant, Nicole. So we're going to talk a little bit about brands and brand mascots today. And with that, our list, of course, is really the episode. We're basically doing an episode of a list.
That's right. We're going to talk all about brand mascots. Those fun little cartoony characters that are on the side of a cereal box, right?
Right.
Let's get into it.
I mean, cereal box cartoon, like the frog?
like Tony the Tiger.
Tony the
Actually,
Tiger.
I don't even... Oh, he is on the list. Look at that.
You skipped to number 2.
And the Kool-Aid guy's on there too, I bet.
We're just going to give the list away before we even start the list. Should we do the drum roll and music?
Oh, yeah. Well, kick it off, Nicole.
All right. Our first person, kind of peanut, actually on this list is Mr. Peanut.
Our first humanoid.
Anthropomorphized peanut.
Mr. Peanut, with his top hat and monocle, conveys sophistication and quality and sets himself apart from other peanuts. Because let's be honest, what other peanut brand has a mascot? Do you guys remember when they killed him?
Yeah.
A few years ago.
Yeah, that
had-
was super dark.
And then they had like a baby peanut.
Yeah, they rebirthed him.
That's so weird.
I mean, and for a minute there, Robert Downey Jr. was actually voicing Mr. Peanut.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they did some weird stuff with Mr. Peanut. I don't know.
I kind of like when brands go rogue. They throw something at the wall.
All right, next on the list is, of course, as Cameron already mentioned, Tony the Tiger. He's got to be one of the most famous mascots, I think. He's been around since I was a kid, for sure. He is well known for saying, "They're great," encouraging health and strength through the slogan, "They're great." Tony represents energy, positivity, athleticism, and he's appealing to kids while reassuring parents that the cereal promotes an active lifestyle. Nothing says it better than, "These flakes are covered in sugar. They're great. They'll give your kids energy."
Nothing says athleticism like the little ascot he wears around his neck.
Look, Frosted Flakes, they slap.
They do. It is some of the best cereal milk you can get.
I was not allowed to eat Frosted Flakes when I was a kid.
That was really depressing.
I wasn't allowed to eat cereal that had sugar on it. So like Cheerios, Corn Flakes, Post Raisin Bran, because Post Raisin Bran, the raisins didn't have sugar all over them, unlike Kellogg's Raisin Bran, which did have sugar. I mean, like, literally, we were an unsugared cereal household. It was
That's
sad.
really sad.
Yeah.
Number 3, the third most famous brand mascot would be the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. And then he crashes through your wall. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of destruction to your house just to say, oh, yeah. The Kool-Aid Man symbolizing the product's promise of bold, refreshing flavor and its role as the life of the party.
It's entertaining that Kool-Aid brand, they're promoting themselves as the life of the party when to drink the Kool-Aid, there's a whole different context there.
When I was a child in elementary school, I had a Kool-Aid purse. You know, when people used to get the Kool-Aid pouches and make purses, I thought I was so cool with my purple Kool-Aid bag. But I was promoting brand positivity, apparently.
Well, my only experience with my daughter and Kool-Aid was she actually used red Kool-Aid to dye her hair.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to last like a week or something and then wash out. And she had red hair for like 3 months.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, next on the list is Ronald McDonald. He's a creepy clown, but he's been around forever, and he likes to sell your children processed meat.
Did you ever watch the McDonald's TV show?
No.
The animated show?
No.
No.
Oh, y'all are missing out.
No, we were not. We were not. Family-friendly, approachable mascot, meant to appeal to children while positioning McDonald's as a place for fun and happiness.
They don't really use Ronald McDonald much anymore, do they?
No, because he's creepy.
He's a creepy clown.
They've
don't like
kind of
clowns.
sterilized the brand. It's just the arches and very clean. They used to have Grimace and the Hamburglar. They had the
and-
whole cast of characters.
Yeah. Not anymore.
All right, next on the list is Chester Cheetah from Cheetos, which I know Court loves some Cheetos.
I do love some Cheetos, and Chester Cheetah is just pretty cool.
Yeah, he's cool, mischievous, and carefree. He personifies rebellious snacking, which it's hard to get away with sneaking Cheetos when they get dust all over your fingers. So,
You know what's interesting about that? Have you ever noticed that I think my hands actually get just as dirty, if not dirtier, eating Doritos?
Doritos,
Yeah.
yeah. They're bad.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying.
I like that. His personality encourages the brand to be seen as fun, quirky, and a little daring. All right, next on the list is the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yes.
The Doughboy evokes warmth, comfort, and nostalgia. His soft, approachable design makes Pillsbury products feel like the essential ingredients for family time and homemade happiness, targeting parents and home bakers.
Yeah. God forbid the Doughboy should ever get caught in the oven, though, man. Can you imagine coming out baked?
God forbid he finds Ozempic.
just want to poke him in his little tummy.
Okay, next on the list, yo ho ho, the Jolly Green Giant. Green Giant emphasizes the natural, wholesome quality of the brand's vegetables. His larger-than-life image suggests abundance, strength, and health, positioning the brand as a trusted source of nutritious food. I mean, as mascots go, I've never really known exactly what it was they were trying to get me to believe about their beans when they had a green giant pushing them, but this all sounds, I'll buy it. Definitely larger than life, and
Didn't he wear like green tights and like a loincloth made of leaves or beans or something?
yeah, it was kind of like a tunic slash, whatever of leaves. Yeah.
Yeah, they want you to.
But I don't think he'd wear tights. I think he was just green.
Just
Yeah,
green.
he was just
Yeah.
green. His skin was
They
green.
want you to eat vegetables so you grow tall and strong.
Like the Green Giant.
Yeah, exactly. Next on the list is Mr. Clean
Mr.
from Mr.
Clean,
Clean
Mr.
Products.
Clean.
He represents strength. He is muscular, bald, and an instant symbol of effective and tough cleaning solutions. This is another Super Bowl commercial where they tried to sex appeal Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That was very awkward.
He was like mopping in slow motion, and the house mom
Yeah.
was like, "What?"
Who is this man cleaning my house?
And he has the earring, which is
Yep.
super edgy for a mascot.
I mean,
Because he's clean.
he's Mr. Clean.
This one is really iconic. The Energizer Bunny, the pink bunny with the drum that just keeps going and going.
Do you know where the Energizer Bunny came from?
This is Court's history
I don't
lesson.
actually.
Okay, so interesting fact. I can't remember if it was Duracell did a commercial for their copper top battery. I think it was Duracell. I think Energizer totally came in and co-opted this stuff. Duracell's thing showed two bunnies, little tiny bunnies with little drums in front of them, and they just drummed. And they just sat there and drummed and drummed and drummed. And it was a little tiny, silly looking rabbit. And the whole point was, look, the bunny with the Duracell battery in it lasts longer than all these other batteries because all the bunnies would die off except for the one Duracell bunny, and it would just keep drumming. And then, it could be that I'm actually remembering wrong and that the whole thing was an Energizer, but that's how it started, was with these little bunnies just tapping on their drum. And then Energizer Bunny came in with his bass drum and dung, 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 and did a spin around and basically crashed through all the little tiny bunnies that were.
The Duracell bunny is kind of terrifying.
Wow.
All I know is that it started with a little bunny that sat still and didn't move except for its arms to beat a little drum. And one of the bunnies lasted longer than the rest. And then the Energizer Bunny came in with his big bass drum and sunglasses.
Just one-upper,
and
just
coolness.
one-upping
Yeah.
all of them.
I never knew that. Thanks for telling us.
You are welcome. You are so, so welcome. So next is kind of interesting because the next one is a real person. It's Progressive's Flo. Progressive Insurance. Flo's quirky, upbeat personality makes the typically dull insurance industry more approachable and relatable. She communicates Progressive's message of simplicity, value, bundling, all of that stuff. They've got a whole cast of characters now that go along with Flo, and I think they've managed to prolong the use of Flo by adding in extra individuals. Flo was around the same time as there was the AT&T girl.
Yep.
There was Flo. There were a couple of other people that were really big in terms of real human being mascots for different companies, and Flo is the only one that's still making a whole lot of commercials. I feel like
She's still rocking. And I'm just realizing something. All the insurance companies use a human mascot. You've got Jake from State Farm. You've got is it the emu and the detective is that Nationwide?
No,
No.
that's
Liberty?
Liberty.
Liberty,
Yeah.
Liberty. Yeah, that's right. And they all have human mascots. And I wonder why that is.
I don't know, but the dude for Liberty with the emu, he creeps me out.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's weird. And Peyton Manning was for Nationwide for a while, wasn't he? Maybe not the official mascot, but he was a spokesperson for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, and who's the guy from Whiplash who was in the other one? Who was in,
he is Farm
J.K. Simmons.
State Farm or Farm Bureau?
No, he's...
Farmers, yeah.
Farmers something.
I think it's to make them more approachable.
Yeah.
So it's not like a robot talking, so you can understand it more.
Yeah, because insurance is kind of a big deal. Mm-hmm. Got to take it seriously.
Liberty Bibberty.
Liberty Bibberty. So the fun thing about these descriptions we just went through was they sound kind of contrived, but in the world of branding, when you're creating these mascots or logos or whatever, jingles, you do take into consideration. I'm sitting here thinking Chester the cheetah is all about bold snacking and
mischievous.
Yeah, and daring snacking. We've got the Kool-Aid Man, which is the promise of bold, refreshing flavor. And that's very true when you're creating a brand. You know, you come up with all these buzzwords and what kind of describes the company. And you may think people will kind of miss that when they see it, but I think there's a lot of subconscious activity going on when you see it over and over again. Mm-hmm. This boldness or this daring or the Energizer Bunny being long-lasting. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, and a few that we didn't mention that are also pretty popular, like the Michelin Man promotes strength and reliability, and then Trix Rabbit. Tricks are for kids. I think everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know the Michelin stars for restaurants, it's like the highest level you can get? Mm-hmm. That's based off the Michelin Man, the tires. The tire company created that for people to get in their cars and drive more using the tires. So the restaurants is based on 3 stars, and the 3rd star, the highest Michelin, was like, this restaurant is worth...
It's worth a special trip.
That's exactly right.
Restaurant.
Yeah, it's worth a special trip. Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's hard to connect like such a high esteemed award to this little tire company. But here we are.
Now, I think we forgot one really important mascot that we did not mention on this list.
Our Pickler Bull?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. You looked at me. I was like, oh no. Let's double down here.
I don't know what noise just came out of your mouth.
That's
but
an
yes.
angry bull, I think, right?
Yeah. So tell us about our bull, Cameron.
Yeah. So the bull has been around for a while with Pickler Wealth Advisors, but he had a resurrection about 10 years ago. As you all know, the stock market, you have the bull and the bear. Mm-hmm. The bull is good, horns up, and bear is a down market, bearing down, claws down. So the bull, of course, is our mascot. That's a good thing. Stock market up. It represents strength and resilience. But our bull isn't too serious. He's kind of a cool bull with sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
Our bull can be anything from Alexander Hamilton to a superhero to a football player.
God, I've made probably 200 different bulls.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There are pictures of the bull all over this building.
Baseball bull, football bull, nurses and doctor bulls.
And everybody loves them. Anytime we have someone come in the office, they love to look at the bulls, and we get to proudly tell them that our very own Cameron Spann made all of them.
You know, what's funny about that is we do occasionally have a person that's like, why a bull? And we're like, well, because of the stock market and the bull, right? Yeah. I mean, like, you know.
It's kind of 2 parts. You have that, and the other one is we're bullish on, whatever we're doing. Mm-hmm. We have Bull TV. Let's talk about the Bull Network. We have Bull TV, BullCast, Bullets, and Bull Talk. Mm-hmm. That's our Bull Network. It's our video, audio, blogs. It's all of that stuff incorporated. And I like using this mascot. You know, it kind of like the insurance companies. I feel like it makes us a little more approachable. We're not stuffy. It's fun, lighthearted. Yeah, that's the bull.
The bull has gone many places.
Yes.
Has the bull gone places? I mean, like, generally speaking, we don't take the bull places. We should have a bull mascot that we start taking. Like, when y'all do your little trips and stuff, you should take the bull with you.
Yeah. Last Christmas, I got David a stuffed bull, our mascot, but as a stuffed animal.
What is that? Stanley? What is the one that kids make?
Flat
Stanley. We need to have like a flat bull.
We totally
take
should.
It places.
Because we have our Pickler Wealth Advisors flags, our clients take on trips with them and take pictures. Why not add the bull to it?
I think that's a great idea. Look at us.
Let's talk for just a second about overall, what are the 2 things, Cameron, that jump to your mind when you think about, okay, I'm creating a brand for someone? What are the 2 big things that you probably are going to do to brand them, right? You're going to create at least 2 things that I can think of that you talk about all the time.
Yeah, when you're creating a brand, you're going to want a logo.
Yeah.
Which is not a brand in itself. It's a piece to the puzzle. And then probably a tagline.
And a lot of times a tagline will go with the logo or be incorporated into the logo sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes. Like, for instance, the Nike swoosh is kind of the the logo, but just do it is almost as iconic as the swoosh, and they kind of go together.
And then the third piece, you could have a mascot, what we just talked about. Yeah. I've talked about this before. We had a branding episode a year or two ago, but a lot of a brand is what makes a business tick. You know, you kind of want people to see that. So it's a lot of internal work. It's visioning and it's values and it's all of that good stuff mixed with the logo, mixed with their mascot tagline. You stir it all up and then you serve it to the people.
Yeah. Hopefully, if you do it right with the mascot, with the logo, with the tagline, all of that stuff, you get instant recognition. A lot of times people actually feel emotionally connected to, for instance, the mascot, if it's the right kind of mascot and it's not a creepy one. You're going to remember, like, for instance, for whatever reason, it is absolutely stuck in my head, Jake from State Farm, that guy, and the fact that he was originally a dude that was just on the other end of the phone, and then they totally recast Jake and
they
turned him into a completely different guy. And
now Jake is friends with Drake. Like, he goes to sporting events. Yeah, he's like big friends with Drake.
That's cool. But yeah, the reason it sticks in your head is repetition.
Yeah.
That is marketing. Repetition. Yeah. You see it constantly, and all of a sudden it's just ingrained in your memory.
It's just there. It's always part of your day. You know, it's consistency. That frequent presence on your TV or on your radio or whatever. And obviously, clearly, hopefully it's differentiating you from other brands out there. Your mascot, like, for instance, you know, it's funny. We said all of the insurance companies seem to have like these sort of quirky people, but it's all people driven. You got the weirdo with the emu and Flo and Jake from State Farm and the drum teacher from Whiplash.
Yeah. Why can't we think of it?
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. But so how much differentiation do you really have there? So, you know, I mean, Flo, sure, she's progressive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
See,
Flo is kind of ditzy. J.K. Simmons is this real dry humor, but it is funny. The emu and the detective is just weird.
Well, you know, the one that we haven't mentioned that I think actually does for me stand out, it's very recognizable, it very much is differentiated, and it also kind of goes with the brand name, is Geico.
Yeah.
Because you've got the gecko. Gecko and Geico. Geico, the gecko Geico. The Geico gecko.
Oh, and then you have the Aflac duck.
Yeah.
Aflac.
So those definitely stand out and that help their brand differentiate from other brands that are out there. And then, of course, you might potentially, if the mascot is really good, it's going to help build some brand loyalty. I can't really think of a good example of that where I'm actually loyal to the brand because of the mascot, but I'm sure it helps, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it could be nostalgia based too, because like if you ate Cheerios as a kid and you remember the bee and the Honey Nut Cheerios, you may think, oh, I'm going to pick up a box of Cheerios and not even know that you're doing that because it makes you think of your childhood.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heartstrings pulled.
It's amazing marketing and branding, how it really plays into your psyche without you even thinking about it.
Well, a lot of times you have a complex product or you have a lot of things that you want to say and you don't have a long time to say it. You know, your average commercial is what, 30 seconds long? So you've got to break it down and make it something that people can consume and understand and, you know, that sort of gels with them in a very brief period of time. And if you get if you hit on the right kind of mascot, then you can do all of that in 30 seconds. It just simplifies everything.
Yeah, not too dissimilar. A logo. A logo is the most recognizable part of any business that you walk into. I think if you just look at a logo for 5 seconds, it's locked into your brain because you can spout all these taglines or services or benefits when people are in there, but they're not going to remember that. They're going to remember the logo. That's just the way the human mind works.
Right.
And same with a mascot.
Cool. Well, y'all are the experts. You want to bullseye anything? Speaking of mascots, bullseye, BullCast.
It's not really a bullseye, but I would like for any of our listeners who are small business owners or whatever, and they're toying around with a logo or mascot or whatever, I'd be happy to take a look at it and give you my feedback, help you out there. It's what my job is.
Yeah, I would say anytime you go into the store, see if you can look for these brand mascots and see how many you actually remember and recognize. Because you'll be amazed how many there actually is out there.
All right. Oh, there's the closing bell. Ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of yet another episode of the BullCast podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up. to have our podcast beamed directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Cortland, Cameron, Katie, or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. We've got bios up there. We've got some pictures. We've got a place where you can drop a comment, suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. And I mentioned pictures. If you like pictures, we've also got an Instagram handle. That Instagram handle is at BullCast Podcast. And we have an X handle, which is also at BullCast Podcast. And finally, we have a Facebook page, which is BullCast the Podcast. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have mentioned today and every other day that we work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you'd like to find out more about Pickler Wealth Advisors, find out more about us, because we're on that site too, find out about what we do, what we can do for you, find out about our amazing team and our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've given you everything you need to go out, find a mascot, and find some joy in your life. So for now, I'm Court.
I'm Cameron.
And I'm Nicole.
And we're done.